Anyways, moving on. So the graph is nothing but a visual representation of two quantities, mostly depicted in the sort of a line. Okay. There are the graphs which are involved in stock market. Usually, people refer to candlestick patterns. There are many forms where basically you can put it to use and have a look at the technical analysis of stock market. There are many, but the one which we are going to simply focus on is the candlestick patterns. All right, and we will also have a look at how, in a very basic and simple way, how a line basically is representing what the stock is how the stock is currently performing, right? We are not going to name any stock. We are just going to consider some examples so that we understand the momentum and the movement of a graph, and how the stock prices, how the basically how the stock prices are sort of indicators to what the future of the returns or the investment is going to be, right? In a very simple way, we'll know whether the stock is down or it's at a high, right? So this is a graph, all right, and we just discussed what a graph is, right? Like basically a visual representation of two quantities. We call this usually x-axis, the one which is horizontal, and vertical is y-axis, right? So very simply put, x and y-axis, all right. And what a usual graph we can draw as is, let's just straight away get to the point, all right. If let's say a stock is moving this way, it's a higher high, higher low, higher high. As the high is above this, okay, this is the next high, that's how it is a higher high and higher low. The same follows, right? This is called a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. That means a stock is an uptrend, guys. Okay, so this makes sure that the stock is in a healthy momentum upwards, where the stock prices keep going higher, all right. And whenever let's say it is going down, where it is forming a low, these are healthy lows, guys, healthy lows, all right. When the stock is sort of, you will never see, I mean, there are some unusual cases and very rare cases the stock will straight up go this way, all right, or like sort of this way. this this is a very rare and abnormal case, guys, where the stock straight up goes up without any sort of correction, without any sort of correction is the word, guys, all right. So correction is what, where the stock dips a bit before it makes the up move. Then up move, as in it is going higher, it is going above, all right, it is going upward, all right. So these are healthy corrections, all right, and that's how we come to know that stock overall is in a healthy movement, and it will keep growing consistently. It's a good sign of growth. And the second scenario, where what happens is, okay, we'll form a graph again, all right. This is y-axis, which is horizontal, and this is, okay, x-axis, sorry, my bad, x-axis which is horizontal, okay, and y-axis which is vertical. Okay. There is a third way as well, where basically it becomes 3D. You can look into it if you are interested in the graphs. I'm not able to recall what the third one is called. Perhaps z-axis, I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's a 3D form. Right now we don't need it. So far, what is concerned is x and y axis. We are going to form another graph, guys. Okay. So over here we learned how a stock can be in a healthy momentum, which will form higher high and higher lows. Okay. Over here, what will happen is, guys, it will form a higher. It will form, like, basically stock goes up. Okay. Then perhaps it doesn't give a lower low yet, but okay, it does that again. It goes higher and forms a higher low. Okay, so far so good. But what happens next is this, where it forms a lower high and lower low. It's lower than this and lower than this. Basically, a high has been formed, which is, this high is lower than this, and this low is lower than this. This is called a trend reversal. Okay, in a very basic and simple way, there are some nuances and details to it, but in a very basic form, what you could say is that it's a trend reversal. The uptrend has been broken. Okay, that uptrend has been broken, and it has started to form lower highs and lower lows. That means it could basically go this way and downwards. It could make a downward journey, guys. So that's sort of like a downtrend, and where the trend has been broken, the uptrend has been broken, and it's a trend reversal. Sometimes, as I said, that there are sometimes some nuances. Okay, there are some nuances. We'll be discussing that nuance very quickly right here, guys. Okay, so x-axis, y-axis. This is horizontal. This is vertical. So we formed a very rough graph over here. Excuse my inaccuracy right now. Anyways, so we have a high, we have a low. Okay. Then we have a higher high and higher low. Okay. So far so good. Now what happens is we form a lower high and lower low. Good. Okay. So lower high and lower low. Got it? Then what we are going to do is this goes up above and forms a higher high and higher low. A googly. ठीक है, पूरा गेम घुमा दिया इन्होंने. ठीक है. So what is happening over here is that sometimes when a graph is making an uptrend, one could say, to confuse the stock market traders or whatsoever you want to call it, but it's a very esoteric, or if not, it's a very subjective way if you say that, to confuse the stock market traders. But like, what happens is, when a stock is in an when a stock market when the stock is in an uptrend, okay, it makes a higher high and higher low, and the trend goes on until there is a sign of trend reversal, but that sort of uh, is sort of deceptive. Okay, it forms a lower high, it forms a lower low. That means the trend has been reversed, right? But what happens is, in at times, that slight change in momentum is very brief and is for a very short period of time. The trend goes up, it continues the upward trend by forming a higher high and higher low, right? So this is one form to look at how stocks are in an uptrend or in a downtrend, right? So this is usually for the traders and also for people perhaps who want to invest and whatnot. But again, this is purely for educational purpose. You have to do a bit more research, because this is one indicator how you can understand the health of the stock or the shares or whatever basically you want to invest in or you want to have a look at or do some research, right? There are many more like indicators like RSI, okay, relative strength index. Okay, it goes into the detail, right? You get a look at it, and there are some parameters where you understand whether the buyers are going to come in or whether the sellers are going to come in or not, right? So RSI, relative strength index. There are some uh, candlestick patterns which you look at and try to understand whether a stock is going to make a bullish momentum or a bearish momentum, right? There is definitely a very deep study towards all of this to understand whether a stock whether you can invest in the stock at that moment or not for a long period of time, or as a trader, whatever it is. There is definitely a good study of technical analysis, and we are not selling any sort of courses. This is just imparting some knowledge for the people who are interested to know about stock market and technical analysis, and make uh, an educational choice, right? So basically, we discussed the uptrend, how the trend could be reversed, and how there are sometimes nuances and details where basically it's sort of deceptive that it is going down, but then it picks up the trend back again and it gives an up move. All right. I think for today it will be fine. This much what knowledge which we have imparted. There are many more indicators, as I told you, relative strength index, candlestick patterns, where basically you understand about morning star, evening star, and all of that. There are pivot levels on the graphs. For some people, it must be very much new. Those who are not at all aware about stock market, where basically what happens is you uh, there are many sites and softwares, like for example the one which I know of is TradingView. Okay, so there are indicators, as I just said, where pivot levels is one of it. Okay, you sort of get some resistance and support. This is also one of the great indicators which many of the people follow, and this sort of works really well for long term. See, okay, this works really well for. It's not necessary. Okay, so basically, this is one of the indicators. All right, stop the support levels and resistance levels. There's one more indicator which I can share with you is Fibonacci. Okay, Fibonacci, and this is not any just specific to stock markets. Fibonacci, if you do a little bit of study about this, it is very much seen, witnessed, and put into use, etc. In outside of stock market as well. Right now, I cannot recall example because I do not understand. I do not remember the precision of those examples, so I don't want to impart any wrong knowledge. So yeah, Fibonacci, and there are many such indicators. Next time, perhaps we will be discussing about morning and evening star. For now, what I can tell you is that you can understand about trend reversals, uptrend, downtrend, and some nuances and details. Alright, guys, if you like this video, if you like got any sort of value from this video, please leave a like, share, or subscribe if it is possible.